of Time Out with Derek and Joe. For Joe Azalina, I am Derek Ano. Thank you, as always, for taking time out of your day to spend some time with us. And today we attack the NBA playoffs, Joe. They officially start, I guess, technically tomorrow, being May 18th. Um, just a brief overview for everyone. The playoffs are a little different this year in the NBA as opposed to the normal 8 teams from each conference. 10 teams are making it from each conference. This was out of 72 games, not 82 games. I assume due to the COVID season, they thought it was fair to create extra teams, but here we are. So just a quickie synopsis of what's going to be happening. There's a play-in series. Well, not a series. It's a one game. But in each conference, the 7 and 8 seeds are going to be playing each other. The winner of that game will then be facing the number 2 seed, and they are the number 7 seed. The loser of that 7 and 8 game will be playing the winner of the 9 and 10th seeds are going to be playing each other. The loser of the 9 and 10 game is out. The winner will be playing the loser of the 7 8 seeds. And then those two teams will play. And that winner will be the 8 seed. And the final team in the playoffs, the loser, is out. We will run through every one of the teams here and we'll give our little brief synopsis of everyone's season. Joe, do you want to start us off? We're going to start off in the East because their 9 and 10, 7, 8 games are on the 18th. And then the 19th will be the 9, 10, and 7, 8 in the West. So we'll start off in the East. Joe, do you want to give us the 1 through 10 and their records to start us off?
Sure. Happy Monday, everybody out there. Thanks for tuning in. So the record for the number 1 Philadelphia 76ers is 49 and 23. The second seeded Brooklyn Nets are 47 and 24. The number 3 seeded Milwaukee Bucks are 46 and 26. The number 4 New York Knicks, surprisingly, 41 and 31. The number 5 seeded Atlanta Hawks, 41 and 31. The Miami Heat is the 6th seed at 40 and 32. Number 7 is Derek's Boston Celtics at 36 and 36. The number 8 seeded Washington Wizards at 34 and 38. And number 9, Indiana Pacers at 34 and 38. And the 10th seeded Charlotte Hornets, 33 and 39. And the last couple I don't think deserve to be there, to be honest with you.
No, definitely not. The first team out was the Chicago Bulls at 31 and 41. I said to Joe off air, 2/3 of the league in the playoffs is a little much, but
water down, Derek.
7 through 10 have to do play-ins, so they're not automatically in. So, Joe, why don't we just start off here with the number 1 seed and the Philadelphia 76ers. Obviously, new head coach Doc Rivers coming in. They were 29 and 7 at home, 20 and 16 on the road. Joe, this is their first number 1 seed since the 2000 and 2001 season when they made the finals under one Allen Iverson. Joe, what are your thoughts for the Sixers heading into the playoffs?
Okay, so they're really talented. They have some really key weapons on their team. But the one thing you're going to keep hearing about the Sixers is, can Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons realize the potential that everybody has thrown on them since they graduated from college? Or sorry, Ben didn't graduate from college. Actually, neither did Joel. But so they came out to the draft. So let me go back.
Right.
They need to stay healthy, Derek, number 1. They have to stay healthy. These guys miss a lot of games, especially Embiid with all kinds of injuries. It's his foot, it's his hand. throw a coin up in the air. It's something with that guy. When healthy, this is a force, and I'm not going to be biased because I'm not a Sixers fan. Actually, I'm really I just watch the games if I'm watching them. Tobias Harris is a key. I feel like 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. That's one player they have to have really go for them. We mentioned Embiid and Simmons. I think Seth Curry needs to shoot well from the outside. He's a sharp shooter. Matisse Thybulle off the bench will be critical. He only scored 4, averaging about 4 a game. What about the big pickup by George Hill? And they got Shake Milton and the young guard. And man, it's escaping me because I didn't write them down. And I'm kicking myself for it. Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey.
Thank you. Derek, that's what I got about the Sixers. They're really good, but something tells me they're not going to make it to the Eastern Final this year.
Well, if they have anything going for them, it's that the number 1 seed in the East this year was critical because each team kind of struggles on the not struggles, but the Sixers, Nets, and Bucks are all 20 and 16 on the road in comparison to their better records at home, as with most teams. But the thing is, it's kind of 3 teams heading above the rest. The Sixers, the Nets, and the Bucks. They don't have to play either of those teams until the conference finals, provided they get there. Whereas now the Bucks and the Nets are kind of on a path to beat each other up in potentially 7-game series. And then the Sixers are there nice, and you would hope if you're a Sixers fan, feeling good, nice and fresh as compared to the other team coming off a big, tough series against the other strong team. Sixers are the 14th offense in the league. Number 6th ranked defense. They don't shoot the 3 too much, 11.3 a game, which is 23rd in the league. You mentioned they have Seth Curry. He's really the only shooter. Danny Green is a shooter, but he's not someone who like a JJ Redick who they used to have. For me, Joe, it's going to be, can they score enough? They are the 14th ranked offense, which is good, but it's not on the level of the Bucks and the Nets, as we're going to be saying in just a little bit. And he will probably be in the top 3 in the MVP vote, will Joel Embiid, but can he be the playoff closer now? They need him to be the closer. He needs to be the guy. Ben Simmons has kind of gone down in points, so he doesn't seem to be the go-to offensive force. It's Embiid. He's averaged 28.5, like you said. So that's going to be the key. Can he deliver in the clutch? Can he be that guy? And I guess we're going to have to see. By the way, the Sixers will be having a 15% capacity in the playoffs while they're at home, which of course is it's playing through Philadelphia. The Brooklyn Nets have a 10% capacity. They are the number 2 seed, as Joe mentioned. Head coach Steve Nash, 28 and 8 home record, 20 and 16 away record. Joe, let's dive a little bit into the Brooklyn Nets. The key stat I have for them, the fewest. This is a pretty big deal, I would think. By the way, the big 3, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, have played 8 games together this season, 6-2. Before Saturday, when they were all healthy, it was February 13th was the last time they played together. The fewest games that a top 3 scorers from a championship team played together was 10. When in 2000, a second time I'm mentioning that year, 2001 Lakers, Kobe, Shaq, and Derek Fisher, they only played 10 games together in that season. Do we think that that lack of chemistry could hurt them, or they're three of the most talented players in the league. We think that they might still make it to the finals anyway and potentially win the finals.
Well, you made a really good point just now, but here's the thing: you got to be on the floor. I mean, to score points and to get rebounds and assists and all the stuff to get in your stat line, you got to be on the floor. Kevin Durant always hurt. He was hurt in Oklahoma City. He seems like he's also been injury plagued in Brooklyn. I want to say New Jersey, by the way, Derek. I got to stop thinking about New Jersey.
Yeah, don't say that.
Right. James Harden, though, was somebody, if healthy, 25 points, 9 rebounds, 11 assists. He's a stat filler. And Kyrie Irving, if he has his attitude on straight and he's healthy, 27 points and 6 assists. That three is there's nobody better in basketball right now than those three. I want somebody to, I'm listen, I always say the NBA is not my strong suit, probably a little better than the NFL because I'm still better in basketball. I literally want somebody in the comments to argue with me and make a point to me that Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant are not the best 3 players on some team. No, sorry, you can't do it. There's just no way. They're that talented. It would be a great debate, but I think I'll win. I'm opening up competition, Derek, on the timeout. Derek and Joe today. Listen, Joe Harris can score. He's off the bench at 14. Blake Griffin's interesting because he gets boards and he'll score 10 this season. He's done that. Karis LeVert might be their X factor, though. That guy's averaged 18 points.
He's gone.
Oh, that's my
they
fault.
Traded him to Indiana.
Right. Well, DeAndre Jordan, then I had him written down. 8 points, 8 rebounds. And I know Jared Allen's gone too. I wasn't going to say his name. I knew he was gone. Derek, this could be, if they could run through the East, this could be the Sixers' downfall here. The Brooklyn Nets might be the team that outs the Sixers. And man, would that make Philadelphia sad? A New York team ousting you in the playoffs. Doesn't get much worse than that.
Well, they're better offensively, that's without a doubt. They're second in the league, 21st defensively. They hit the 3, 14.2 a game, number 7 in the league. Yeah, we'll probably be talking about that series down the line. They'll either be playing the Celtics, who they are 3-0 against this season.
Oh boy.
Or Washington, they are 1-2 against this season.
Look out for that matchup.
That should be an interesting one. There is none. No, I don't think you're going to get any sort of pushback on that. There is no trio in basketball better than Durant, Kyrie, and Harden right now.
So ridiculous.
Because there's no third player that you could put in that tier on the Clippers, on the Lakers. Suns. There's really not Suns, no. But Joe Harris, that'll be key. Bruce Brown has become a key part off the bench. He's filled in while a lot of these guys are out. But LaMarcus Aldridge jumped in, although he retired, so he's not in the play anymore. But Joe, we'll jump to the Milwaukee Bucks, the number 3 seed. They are at a 50% capacity, by the way, at home. Mike Budenholzer is the head coach. 26-10 at home, 20-16 on the road as well. They are the first team to average 120 points per game since the 1984-85 Denver Nuggets. I think the key here, Joe, is the lack of postseason wins for the Bucks over the past few years. They've been one of the top tier teams. They just can't seem to make it even to the finals behind Giannis. And you even got people saying, is Giannis the Robin that needs a Batman to come in there? Well, they brought it. You're going to name a couple guys. They brought in Drew Holiday, and they still have Middleton. So
He won an MVP. How can you say he's Robin? I don't understand that. Is
It's
that
gonna
Stephen A.
be
Smith?
well, it was all over the network.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they're
Guess
gonna have a
it's
tough matchup to start, even against the Eastern Conference champion in last year's COVID season, Miami Heat.
You mentioned one name, and I have three I wrote down. Giannis is above the rest. The guy scored 28 points this year in an average, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. Just so the audience knows, it's an average of that. It's not games he scored more, but that's the average. So when we talk about the stats, that's my talking point on it. Chris Middleton scored 20 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. He's another one to watch out for. He's an explosive player. He's someone you have to put on your X's and O board and say, no, we can't let him get to the basket. Because if he gets to the basket, that's going to be a problem. I mean, it's the bottom line.
Impossible to stop, though. So it seems. That's why they call him the Greek Freak, right?
Right. With Giannis and Middleton, that's a heck of a one, too. Then Jrue Holiday, who's a veteran, 17.6 assists. But I want to bring in names like Brook Lopez, scored 12 points this year. If he can have some big games, they're gonna really need him to have some big games. Jeff Teague, the veteran point guard, is a name I wrote down. Bryn Forbes scored 10 points off the bench. And we're gonna go with Pat Connaughton, the Notre Dame graduate, 6 points off the bench. Derek, they're deep, Derek. They're deep. That's what you need in the NBA. I said it before. I'm sticking with it. Giannis goes to the NBA Finals. I'm sticking with it, Derek.
That's right. You did
Let's
say
go,
that.
Derek. I like him.
Well, we'll talk about the matchup in a bit, but they are 2-1 against the Heat this year. Number 1 offense, number 22 defense, 14.4 threes per game, and that is 5th in the league. Number 4 seed is the surprising New York Knicks.
Where do they come from?
10% capacity they will have at home. They are 25-11 at home, 16-20 on the road. Tom Thibodeau, after his several years in Chicago and then 1 or 2, I think he got fired then in Minnesota, but Mitchell Robinson is the key center who has been out for much of the season. Starting on court work, but still probably a couple weeks away. But Joe, I guess it starts with Julius Randle, who probably is going to win. Well, I don't think there's much of a doubt. Is probably going to win most improved player this season with the numbers that he put up.
All right. So when I look at the Knicks, I say to myself, how the heck are they there? Well, Julius Randle averaged 24 points. He had 10 rebounds and 6 assists. That's a pretty good stat line. Nerlens Noel, on the other hand, needs to step up. He only had 5 points and 6 rebounds, so he needs to get his point total up.
He's really more of the defensive guy and just presence underneath.
Length. He's got length.
Yeah, he does have 2.2 blocks. That's really his game. He's just the force in the middle.
Are we going to see the coming out party of RJ Barrett on a national stage? Listen, I'll tell you, and I'm not trying to be biased to my Blue Devils. RJ Barrett can play. He's a good shooter. He actually averaged 17 points this year and 3 assists and pulled down 6 rebounds. If Barrett and Randle are the 1-2 punch, along with guards like Reggie Bullock and Elfrid Payton, this could be an interesting team. I still think they need guys like Derrick Rose to step up, who averaged 15 a game. Yeah. They need guys like Alec Burks to step up, although he's out, I think I wrote down. And the rookie Obi Toppin, who they were high on when they took him. Derek, what do we get from New York? Maybe a series win. I don't think they beat the likes of Philadelphia. I don't know. I don't know where they go. I will say this. Those fans will be nuts at the Garden if they win a game or two. I wouldn't want to be the away team in that game. We don't see this a lot from New York. They haven't been around very, very formidable in a long time.
first playoff series for the Knicks since 2012, 2013, when they had Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire playing there.
Derek, that's a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, the thing is, I mean, Julius Randle has really found another part of his game. He's been amazing this year. He just really, an extra gear.
That's what I was thinking.
He just doesn't. He hasn't been on that level before, but he's been pretty amazing so far. Playing Atlanta, they are 3-0 against Atlanta. And Julius Randle has averaged 37.3 points in those games. So now you look at, they're young, they're inexperienced. I mean, you have the Derrick Roses of the world there, and the Taj Gibsons of the world, but
right.
Their main guys, even Randle Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, who is a good rookie point guard who can shoot pretty well. They haven't really been there before. So, but lucky for them, neither have the Hawks. So
True.
That won't be much of an issue. I kind of said the Sixers, the Nets, and the Bucks are kind of on a different level. So I think that they're probably going to struggle if they get out of that round against the Sixers. But even winning a playoff series will be a great step for the Knicks. And hats off to Tom Thibodeau, who is probably one of the main reasons, number one in terms of defensive points per game.
Wow.
And that's what drives the Knicks, is the defense, and Noel being one of them.
26 Kentucky.
Yes.
Sorry. They have two. Yep. Noel and Randle. I don't know if they played together, but they played close together. Like if it was like
they were probably separated.
But two John Calipari guys, Derek. That doesn't shock me that they're really good. And Derrick Rose, another one.
Derrick Rose was Memphis, I think.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
but I think Quickly was out of Kentucky. Kevin Knox doesn't really play. He was kind of a bust. But he's from Kentucky, so so we'll see, and we'll talk about what we think about them against the Hawks. But number 5, Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah,
they have a 45% capacity going into the first round.
Wow.
25-11 at home, 26-20 on the road. Neither team, 4 or 5, really plays well on the road. Nate McMillan is now the coach. He took over. They are 27-11 under Coach McMillan after he took over halfway through the season. Cam Reddish is one guy who is out for the rest of the season. I guess what is their plan for Randle? And they really have to make sure that Trae Young, Joe, is the key, who they really need to make sure he gets going.
All right, so their plan for Randle is going to be simple. I think it's going to be John Collins and Clint Capella to just get on him. I don't know who else you.
It didn't work in the first 3 games. They got to figure out something else.
Yeah, you don't have a lot. I mean, you can use Onyeka Okongwu, if I got that right.
Okongwu, backup center,
I mean, he's not going to give you a lot of production, but maybe you just keep throwing bodies at Randle. Hard fouls. You got to play physical with him. He's a big guy. I remember watching him at Kentucky, and
he's certainly not as big as Shaq, but that's what they used to do. You're not stopping him.
Yeah, just
throw 3 or 4 guys up against him that are fresh and try to slow him down.
Right, and I think the loss of Reddish might hurt them. He scored 11 this year. He's a decent player. Trae Young is the engine. If he's going well, they're going to go well. 26 points, 10 assists. Bogdanovich had 16 points during the year. Hunter, 15, 5 rebounds. I just think the Hawks are good, but are they a couple years away? Yeah, I do think they are. But I will not be surprised if they don't win a series. And if they beat the Knicks, maybe they win a second series. This is a very well put together basketball team, Derek. And as funny as this is, I enjoyed playing with them in NBA 2K because I thought they were with guys like Young and a fast team. They're interesting to play with. So I throw that in there for a little video game lovers out there. Yeah, they got to play better than what they did this season. They got to play better than a 10 game over 500. I mean, they have to. Trae Young has to be perfect. He's got to play great basketball. And I don't know. Does he have it in him? Yeah, I'm sure he does. Does he have it in him every game? Probably not.
No.
So he needs help.
Yeah, you said it. And I think I said that in the beginning of the season. I really liked this team headed in because I like how they're set up. You got the distributor and the 3-point shooter in Young. Collins is the beast underneath in mid-range. Bogdanovich, Gallinari, Kevin Herter can all shoot. And then you got Clint Capella underneath who's that rebounder, presence, block, gets 2 blocks per game.
DeAndre Hunter too. Don't forget
and then
about
DeAndre Hunter, the wing defender, 3 and D guy, you could probably call him.
Right.
15
points though.
We'll see if I put him up against the Knicks. They're number 13 in terms of offense, number 12 in terms of defense, 12.4 threes per game. That's number 17 in the league. We'll see what I think there. I like this team. You said it. They might be a year or two away. One more piece maybe from really jumping in there. But the number 6 seed is the Miami Heat. They are 40-32 overall, 21-15 at home, 19-17 on the road, 15% capacity for them at home in their home games. Eric Spoelstra has been there forever. Victor Oladipo is one guy who is out for the rest of the season, tendon surgery. Really, you look at the Miami Heat, they made it to the NBA Finals last year, Joe. That was a very wonky season, obviously. But they were the one who came out of the East and led by one Jimmy Butler. And I would say now, can he get him past Milwaukee and Giannis? I guess we'll have to see. What are your thoughts on the Miami Heat headed into the playoffs?
Well, you mentioned about Oladipo. It's a big loss because he's athletic, but you got a guy like Goran Dragic who really did a good job last year. 13 points a game, 4 assists. The assists probably have to go up a little bit because you got to feed Butler and Bam Adebayo, who had 18 last year, 9 rebounds. That guy's a beast. Listen, Butler's going to get his. If Butler gets 20, that's big. He's averaging 22 in the year. Duncan Robinson's come on strong, but Tyler Hero's a guy to watch out for. If he can fill it up from another Kentucky guy, by the way. They're everywhere, Derek. Miami, Iguodala off the bench. I like Miami. I just don't know if they have a run in them. They did a great job last year. Now you extend the field, which we both don't think was right to do. But they're kind of right there at 6. They might be in the spot where they can pull the upset, though. I mean, they're in a decent spot. I'll tell you who doesn't want to see them. And I don't know if it can happen, but I'm just thinking about this. Philadelphia does not want to see Miami again. They struggle with the Heat.
Yeah.
And for Sixer fans out there, don't wish for the Miami Heat.
Now, when Butler is healthy, when Butler plays compared to when Butler doesn't play is a very different team. They are 33-19, and they give up 106 points a game when Butler plays. When he doesn't play, they are 7-13 and give up 113 a game. So he is a key to their offense and their defense. 25th offensively, though, 5th defensively in the league, 12.9 threes per game, 14 overall. Can Butler dominate and Bam Adebayo dominate a game? That's what they need. They don't really have the point guard play anymore that they had last year. Dragic played very well, like you mentioned in the playoffs last year, but Dragic and Kendrick Nunn cannot play defense. So going up against someone like Drew Holiday, potentially. He's gonna probably struggle, I would think. Yeah,
Or
can
Simmons.
those guys shoot? Robinson, Hero. I think they need a lot to go right to beat the Bucks. No spoiler for who I pick, but um, I do think a lot needs to go right for them. The number 7 seed Boston Celtics, 36 and 36, 21 and 15 at home, 15 and 21 on the road. 12% capacity in their home stadium throughout these playoffs. Brad Stevens, head coach. One key missing player now, Jaylen Brown, unfortunately will be out for the rest of the playoffs, which is not good for them. This is this is only the second 500 or worse record since 2006-2007 season for the Celtics. You want to tackle the Celtics because yeah, I'll have a few things after that.
All right. Well, man, it's tough because they're talented. I mean, Jason Tatum is one of the best players in the NBA, 26 points on average, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Marcus Smart, very athletic. Shooting guard, 13 points, 6 assists. Kemba Walker, 19 points. This is all good stuff. When I look at the bench, though, man, they're not deep. Like, I mean, and I know you're shaking your head like it's your team, but even these names, like, okay, Aaron Naismith, I know he scores 5 points. Like, I mean,
he hasn't really
done much.
Broken out as much as they thought he would, but
Grant Williams, 5 points. I mean, you're gonna have to spell the guys that are starting. They're gonna have to have some kind of. I mean, Tristan Thompson is one of the guys I would say I would hope he could step up for you in the Celtics. Yeah. Derek, I think they're in trouble. I don't think it's going to be good.
Yeah, and we'll just jump into the matchup here then overall.
Sure.
The number 7 seeded Celtics are going to be playing the number 8 seed Wizards. We'll talk about them in just a little bit. Yeah. Offense is number 16, defense number 11, 13.6 threes per game. That's 11th in the league. Joe, Kemba Walker's not healthy. That doesn't help. But losing Jaylen Brown is pretty much shot any chance that they had of upsetting anyone in the first round. I think they may have had a chance against
right.
That would have been the number 2 seeded Nets. I don't think they were
tough.
beating the Nets. They could have given them at least, I think, a decent series.
Yeah.
But now I question if they even make the final 8. I think someone's going to have to step up. I like Marcus. I love Marcus Smart. You hate him. He's one of those guys. If he's on your team, you love him. If you hate him, if he's not. But great physical defender. He's probably going to be playing one of Westbrook or Bradley Beal.
Right.
The question is,
which one?
What are you going to do with the other one? The other one is going to go off. I can't. Tatum, he won't be able to guard either of those two. He's too big and doesn't have that ability.
Yeah,
I would assume it's going to be Kemba, but like if Kemba's guarding Westbrook, I know he's going to want to bring him down to the block and body him up. Before we get going, Joe, I hate their bench. There's just no scoring any. Evan Fournier was the guy they brought in to be off the bench, but now he's got to start because Brown is out.
Right.
So
they have everything.
Really Robert Williams, I like, but he's not a scorer. He's a rebounder and defender. Peyton Pritchard's an interesting player. I've liked what he's done, but I don't expect him to do a ton on this team. And then you get into the Jabari Parkers, who hasn't done anything for years. Let's talk real quick about the Wizards first, Joe, and then we'll talk about who we like in this matchup.
Yep.
The Wizards will have a 10% capacity for any home games. They are 19-17 at home, 15-21 on the road. They will be on the road against Boston. Scott Brooks is the head coach. Joe, they finished the season 17-6. Granted, if you go and look at who they played, they were not very good teams. They
Not
were
fair.
the
Yeah.
bottom dwellers of the league, but still they
Took
finished
advantage
very
of it.
hot.
Yeah.
And for a while they were way out of the playoffs and they shot up. What can you say? They're led by a duo, no trio again, not a trio, but a
Right. Yeah.
duo.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Wizards a little bit, and then we'll talk about them specifically against the Celtics.
Well, I have a question. I have Bradley
Yeah.
Beal as out here. Is he out?
No, he'll
Okay.
play. He'll play.
Okay. So
I
he's
think
just
he
banged
was,
up, maybe.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
banged up, but he'll
All right.
play. Yeah.
Well, Derek, I had him in your fantasy league, and I had it for a reason because he's one of the best shooters in the NBA. And Bradley Beal, I think, is going to make the Sixers have nightmares. He is ridiculous.
Celtics.
I mean,
well,
I said the Sixers. Well, it could be the Sixers too.
Could be the Sixers. Yeah.
Good looking back at this, we might say I was on to something. No, Derek, in one game he scored 60 points. I mean, that's unheard of. That's 20 away from Michael Jordan, what he used to do, or Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul. Oh Lord, Russell Westbrook and him are interesting though. Westbrook averaged 22. But Derek, you know what impresses me about Russell Westbrook? He rebounded the ball 12 times in every game.
11 and a half, yeah.
11 and a half and 12 assists. So he can do a lot. Can Rui Hachimura from Gonzaga, have 12 to 14 like he's had 14? Alex Len, the big center out of Maryland, is another really interesting name on this roster. Man, their bench is light, though. I have these names. Ish Smith. I mean, okay. Garrison Matthews, Chandler Hutchison. They don't excite me. I'll tell you, if Walker's healthy, I wouldn't put it past Boston to upset him with Tatum's scoring ability. I just think they're going to have a real hard time, like you said. And I'm not taking what you said. I'm just going to go with what you said. Derek, how are they guarding Westbrook and big and like bold?
Yeah.
Beal. Like, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, you almost have to pick your poison type thing. Right. Let one beat you up, and then the other you try to clamp down a little bit. Right. I'm not saying it's not like Smart is gonna keep the guy to 7 points, whoever he guards.
Yeah, you'd hope like 15 though.
Yeah, 15, 18 points.
Yeah.
The thing about the Wizards is I know they could be very streaky because it's Beal, Westbrook, and that's
everybody else.
Everyone else is not. Hachimura scores 14. I think that's just based on Westbrook having 12 assists a game, so he's going to get some of those.
Right.
I don't think a lot of these guys can create their own shots like
Neto,
Beal and Westbrook. Yeah.
Neto.
They have decent depth as far as big men. You mentioned Len, who is a traveler. Daniel Gafford is a decent name underneath that they have. 10 points a game, 5 rebounds. Robin Lopez has been there for a while, or been in the NBA for a while. Bertens is a decent 3-point shooter, who they kept on. Man, the thing is, they could be very streaky. I could see them getting demolished by the Celtics. I could see them beating the Celtics, and then so that would give them the 7 seed, and then giving the Brooklyn Nets a series. I would not be shocked at that. Westbrook is just an out of this world athlete. I mean,
he's ridiculous.
He has the most. He's jumping up the charts in triple doubles and.
He's special.
Those that want to see where he lands in our point guard rankings, we're going to be having a top 5 point guards at some point. So, Joe, in terms of who you got, do we have Wizards? Do we have Celtics to become the 7 seed? in the East and playing the Nets then.
I just don't see Boston being able to keep up with both guys. I'm going to continue to say that. I think that's the narrative that is going to be written a lot. You can keep one down if you maybe you do keep the one down. That's helpful, but other guys are probably going to score too, especially Hachimura, who sounds like he can score inside. He's a big guy. No, I go. Is it 5 games, Derek? I'm thinking.
No, it's one game.
Oh, that one game. I mean, anybody can beat anybody in one game. No, Wizards win. I actually think the Wizards win in a blowout, to be honest with you. Too much Beal.
I would not be shocked if that happens. I won't pick that, but I will. I mean, the Wizards are last in defense, number 3 in offense, number 30 in defense.
They're 3 in offense.
I just don't think the Celtics are going to be able to score enough. If they had Jaylen Brown, give me the Celtics, even with how bad they were playing. But without Jaylen Brown, I don't know how healthy Kemba Walker is, and I don't trust any of the young guys to step up. So yes, give me the Washington Wizards, and then they will jump into the number 7 seed and play the Brooklyn Nets. And if the NBA has any sort of agenda, Joe, that would give us a Westbrook and Durant matchup, which everyone,
clamoring for
would want to see. But let's jump into the 9 and 10 seeds here. That would be the Indiana Pacers and the Charlotte Hornets. Again, if the Celtics lost, they would then play the winner of this matchup in order to get the 8 seed.
So they're not out.
The 76ers. They're not out.
Not out.
First up would be the Indiana Pacers, 34 and 38, as Joe said, 25% capacity at home, 13 and 23 at home. Wow. 13 and 23. That's by far the worst home record in this league. However, 21 and 15 on the road. Very interesting. Nate Yorkgren is the head coach. Miles Turner is officially out for the series, so that will not be good for them. Number 6 defense or offense for the Pacers. Number 25 defense. Joe, they've lost 5 straight. They made the playoffs every year, but they've lost 5 straight first round matchups. Have the Pacers. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts on the Pacers and what they may do.
Well, Karis LeVert is on this team, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, listen, Brogdon's what makes them go. He's a very good guard, scores a lot, 21 a game, and then 6 assists. LeVert scores 21 a game. Right there, you got 42 right there on the average. You need Sumner, Doug McDermott, Domantas Sabonis, McConnell, Jeremy Lamb. A couple of these guys need to really step up. I like their offense. I think their offense is going to be interesting. Derek, what is the defense like? Because I think that could be maybe the bugaboo. Yeah, see, they're not good defensively. Derek, you're 13 and 23 at home. Something's got to be wrong with you. Either you're not hitting free throws, you're not closing out games. The big bird just flew by the window. Jesus, big bird.
I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of a weird thing that they're horrible at home, which they will be playing at home against the Charlotte Hornets. Yeah, they're bad defensively. It doesn't hurt that Miles Turner is out. He's one of their best defensive players. 3.4 blocks a game he had. But yeah, he's out. They don't really shoot the 12.3 a game, which is ranked 18th. Yeah, the offense goes with Brogdon. LeVert is a good mid-range shooter. Sabonis, very good offensively underneath, but horrible defensively. Luckily for them, the Hornets don't really have anyone underneath. They're more guard centric. As we go to the Hornets here, Joe, 33 and 39, 18 and 18 at home, 15 and 21 on the road. Coach James Borrego. Gordon Hayward is out, though I know he's starting to do a little work, but he's not going to play anytime soon. Offense is 23rd, defense is 13th. They are tied for 5th in assists per game. So, and I think that's due to the guard play. You probably see a lot of guards on this roster. They do have a lot of good guards, and that's their strong point, at least, right, Joe?
Yeah, LaMelo Ball, the point guard, and the heralded kid out of Chino, California, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. He does it all. Terry Rozier, the veteran player, 20 points, 4 assists. Not bad there. I think Martin, Bridges, and Washington, again, the same thing we said about a lot of these other teams. They have to step up. These supporting cast has to hit threes, has to hit jump shots, get the ball into the get to the basket. You know, the one thing Charlotte has, and I know it because just hearing about them, they have depth, Derek. Devontae Graham can play the point guard position. He averaged 15 a game. They have Malik Monk, another Kentucky guy, by the way. He's another good scorer. This Charlotte team is actually more interesting to me than the other teams we talked about from 7 to 10, I feel like. This is an interesting team. They're very athletic. Mark it down. They're a very athletic team. What is that going to say in the end? I mean, I don't know, but I do like Charlotte. I will say I like the Hornets.
Yeah, if they had Gordon Hayward, I think pretty highly. They were as far as high up as like number 4, I think. Again, not ahead of the top 3 in the East,
right,
but they were number 4. But with those guards, Terry Rozier, LaMelo Ball is going to be very good. He's going to be very good. He was out for a lot of games, but Devontae Graham is another good guard, 15 a game he scores. It's their guard play. They don't really have much of a presence underneath. Washington is not really a big man per se. Cody Zeller is their big man, and yeah, he's boring. As well as Biyombo, he's a defensive guy. I don't love them, Joe, but here you go. They are 2-1 against the Pacers this year. And I like Charlotte in this game. I think Charlotte, I just think they're more interesting. And I think that they're going to be able to score against Indiana because they don't have a good defense. I like, and Indiana can't seem to play at home for some reason. I don't know why, but they don't play well at home.
Apparently.
So I think they're going to bring some energy. And I like the Hornets. I like them to play the Celtics then for the 8th seed for the right to play the Sixers, where I think they go down. And I think because I think the Celtics will win that one. I think they have a little bit more talent than the Hornets do. So then and another one, if the NBA has anything to do with it, they will give you a Celtics and Sixers series in the first round. So I think the Celtics will then get the number 8 seed. That game will be played on the 20th. Joe, who do you have in the Hornets Pacers game? And then you picked the Wizards, right? So do you have that team beating the Celtics then to get the 8 seed?
All right. Well, I have the Hornets winning. I have the Hornets to face. Is it Washington? Is that right?
The Celtics you have.
I'm sorry. And I'm going to have Boston losing to Charlotte, I think.
So you have Charlotte making it as the 8.
Yeah, I think they're going to go. Yeah. I like their depth.
Well, by the way, if Charlotte gets any home games, they have a 60% capacity.
Wow, that's big news right now. We're not even June 1st yet.
Yep.
Big news.
But that doesn't touch our number 1 West team. The Utah Jazz have a 71% capacity. Wow. So they're going to be pretty much filled up.
Yeah.
The number 1 seed, Utah Jazz, 52-20, 31-5 at home, 21-15 on the road. Head coach Quinn Snyder. Joe, this is the Utah Jazz's first number 1 seed since 1997-98 when John Stockton and Karl Malone were on the team and took them to the finals and lost to the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan. Joe, people might be thinking Utah Jazz kind of odd for number 1 seed, but here they are, and there's a couple reasons why. Do you want to give them a couple?
Well, their head coach I know pretty well because he's a former Blue Devil, Quinn Snyder. That's number 1. Number 2, yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, 52 wins, like you said, 20 losses, 31-5 at home is nothing to sneeze about. Mike Conley, the point guard, 16 points and 5 assists. Donovan Mitchell, if he plays, I know it said he was banged up. If he plays, 26 points and 5 assists. Bogdanovich is this Bojan Bogdanovich?
That's correct.
Okay.
No relation. No
All
relation
right.
to the other Bogdanovich.
17. It's amazing. You'd think they would be. 17 points for the small forward. Rudy Gobert is probably what somebody's gonna have to stop because he's got 14 points, he's averaging 13 rebounds. Clarkson, who I saw a lot of this year, also my fantasy team, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. This guy's a real good player. Joe Ingles had 12 points, and Georges Niang had 7. Derek, another team with depth, another team that can shoot the basketball. Jordan Clarkson, a heck of a 3-point shooter. Mitchell can do it all. Conley can shoot well. This is a dangerous team. Dangerous. Like on fire dangerous.
It's weird because you hear people, they're the number 1 seed, and no one is picking them. You hear the Lakers, you hear because they're healthy, you hear the Clippers. You don't hear much else than that, but Joe, they set an NBA record. 16.7 threes per game they hit. And that is an NBA record, obviously, number 1 in the league. They are number 4th offensively, number 4, number 3 defensively. Jordan Clarkson is probably going to win the 6th man of the year. Rudy Gobert could potentially win defensive player of the year. If not, he is one of the best defensive players in the league. They play the game right, Joe. They make the passes. They hit the open shots. They take the open shots.
Good free throw shooting team.
And they have the depth, like you said. Joe Ingles, he can shoot. Derek Favors is a very good center, backup center to have. And then you have people who have been there. Ersan Ilyasova has been on championship teams. Teams that went far, I'm sure. I don't know off the top of my head, but Mike Conley is a good veteran. It's just how can they last until Mitchell comes back?
Right.
He does have that sprained ankle. So as of now, as of this taping, he is questionable if he's going to play in the series or not. Joe will dive a little bit into who I know is one of your favorite teams in the Phoenix Suns. They are the number 2 seed, 51-21, 27-9 at home, 24-12 on the road. 17% capacity they will have at home. Monty Williams is the head coach, and this is their first playoff appearance since 2009, 2010. Are the Phoenix Suns. And Joe, like I said, long time coming. Let's talk a little bit about the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah. All right. The reason I like this team is because they score the basketball. They just can do it in so many ways. Devin Booker is a great shooter, 26 points a game. Mikal Bridges from the draft a couple years ago, they got him 14 points in a deal with Philly, I think I want to say. I think he was a trade from, right? Wasn't he a trade?
I think that's right. Yeah.
Okay. And DeAndre Ayton, who has become a pretty good player, 14 points, 10 rebounds, double average. It's what you want. Big guy from Arizona who just all he does is score inside and rebound. Chris Paul might be the X factor, though. He might be the guy, if he has big games, to propel this team to where I think they could go. Watch out, timeout audience. The Phoenix Suns could be a very, 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 very viable team in this tournament. I'm telling you, they have assists all over the place. Paul loves to pass the ball. He's still a good shooter for his age, though. Booker's a sharp shooter. Jay Crowder, I didn't even touch on. He had 10 points in the season, 4 rebounds. And their bench quick: Cameron Payne, Javon Carter, Torrey Craig, Cameron Johnson, and Dario Saric. Saric and Johnson can have big games because they're two kind of veteran type guys, kind of lengthy guys. Derek, I want to hear what you have to say. You know where I think they're going.
The question is the inexperienced guys. I mean, Paul, Crowder, Saric, they've been around. But
Bridges,
even guys
Booker.
like Booker, Ayton, Bridges have not yet. It's going to be, especially if whoever wins in the play-in game between the Lakers and Warriors is going to be playing them, and that's going to be a tough matchup for the Suns. But if they get by it, they can probably make it as far as the NBA Finals. Tied for number 6 offensively, number 7 in terms of defense, 13.1 threes per game. Yeah, that's going to be the key. Is can they? Chris Paul has brought them heads above where they thought they were going to be. I'm sure when they brought him on, they thought maybe we'll make the playoffs, but they made it to the number 2 seed, which is amazing in a very crowded West. So who they play is going to be the big question, and that could be tough. Whoever they play, we'll get to them in just a little bit, but let's continue. Number 3 seed Denver Nuggets, 40% capacity. They are 47 and 25, 21 and 11 or 25 and 11 at home, 22 and 14 on the road. Head coach Mike Malone. One of few teams, Denver Nuggets, who have never made the NBA Finals. Jamal Murray out, torn ACL, not good, 21 points per game.
That hurts.
So the question, I guess, is, Joe, can potential and favorite MVP candidate Nikola Jokic get any help from the rest of his supporting cast, especially with Murray out?
Well, I look at this team and I really say that like Porter and Jokic are definitely where they live. He had not Porter at 19 on the season and Jokic at 26. But Derek, without Murray, Aaron Gordon only scored 10, Barton scored 12, and Campazzo scored 6. Like, you don't have a very good bench. It's okay. Millsap and Austin Rivers are the 2 notable names I recognize, both scoring 9 and 8 respectively. Derek, I don't see this being a very good playoff team. I just think they're going to come up against better competition in the West, and I just don't see them being able to step up enough to get the job done, if you will.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Without Murray, it's going to be tough. Murray was very good for them during the season. He can shoot. Michael Porter Jr. has been great for them. He's probably one of the other players, if not for Randall's season, who would be most improved. 19 a game, 7 rebounds. They have players. Aaron Gordon from the Magic, he came over. Millsap has been around forever. You mentioned Barton. 8th offensively, tied for 8th defensively. 2-1 versus the Blazers. I don't see it. I don't think there's enough there. I think Jokic is great, but I don't think there's going to be enough there. I mean, Portland isn't, unbeatable, and I guess it could be up in the air still who wins that series, but I think it's going to actually be the Blazers who win that series. Let's talk real quick about the Blazers, Joe. 10% capacity for them at home. 42 and 30, 20 and 16 at home, 22 and 14 on the road. Head coach Terry Stotts. Number 5 in terms of offense, 23 in terms of defense. Number 2, 3 points made per game at 15.7. Uh, Local boy Joe, as well as one of the best players in the league, lead the Trailblazers.
Well, the local boy is Lehigh graduate shooting guard CJ McCollum, who scored 23 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, famously known for beating Duke, of course, in the NCAA tournament back in 2012.
Yes.
Damian Lillard is the stir that stirs the drink. He's that
Straw.
guy. Straw to stir the drink. Thank you, Derek. Lillard, 29 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. And other than Lillard and McCollum, Derek, Norman Powell, he's pretty good, 17 points, but Robert Covington's not that good. He only scored 8 this year. Jusuf Nurkic, not that great. Except for Carmelo Anthony scoring 13. That's good. I don't know, man. I still like him over I like them over Denver, but I don't know how much further I like them. They're just menza.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Lillard. I wish he could go a little further. I just don't think they have enough firepower to get past the best teams in the West. I think
they could use Kawhi.
Out. Yeah, well, I mean, everyone could use Kawhi,
right? Or a Pascal Siakam, one of those guys.
They do need a third guy in order to do anything. McCollum's very good, but yeah, Enes Kanter, he'll get his rebounds. Covington is the defensive guy. Carmelo off the bench. They don't have a ton off the bench is part of the problem. So the Blazers and the Nuggets here, I think we're both in agreement that it'll be the Blazers. So that's going to move on.
Yes.
Well, I kind of switched up a little bit there. But so we'll talk about the 4 and 5 here real quick. The LA Clippers, 47 and 25. They'll have an 11% capacity. 26 and 10 at home, 21 and 15 on the road. Head coach Tyronn Lue. Joe, when both George and Kawhi Leonard play, they are 32 and 11 this year, which, if you extended it out, really, amongst all 72 games, that would be good enough to be a number 1 seed. But unfortunately, they didn't play every game, and they don't, because they are kind of one of the main players in load management. So, but the LA Clippers have one of the best rosters up and down if you truly look at it.
Yes, they really do. And I think Patrick Beverley might be the key here. If you look at him, he had 7 points, 3 rebounds all season. 7 points is not going to get it done when you're the point guard of the team that already has, like you said, George scoring a lot and Kawhi Leonard scoring his 25. Marcus Morris will be interesting too, and so will Rajon Rondo off the bench, and Reggie Jackson and Kennard and Serge Ibaka. This is the depth a team that like Boston or one of those other teams in the East could use. This is the depth those teams could use. This is a very deep Clippers team. Do we get the Doc Rivers rematch with his old team? Possibly. But Derek, this Clippers team's actually interesting. I kind of overlooked them. They're a very interesting team.
Yeah, they seem to be going all in. They brought in a lot of guys. DeMarcus Cousins, Rajon Rondo is obviously there. As people like Luke Kennard who can shoot the 3. Batum, they had, and then it's a lot of veteran guys: Kawhi, Paul George, Serge Ibaka, who is a key contributor on the team. Joe, I do really like them. 10th offensively, 4th defensively, number 6 in terms of 3-pointers made, 14.3. I think a key is going to be the defense against Luka Doncic. Who's guarding him? Is that going to be Beverly? Is it going to be Paul George? Who's going to be guarding him?
I would say
Um,
George.
and then if we want to go to the Mavericks here, who else is going to score besides Doncic and Porzingis? That's going to be the key. 47% capacity for Dallas, 42 and 30, 21-15 at home, 21 and 15 on the road. Coach Rick Carlisle, 17th offensively, tied for 8th defensively. They are 2-1 against the Clippers. Not sure if that involved the two best players in George or Leonard or not. But Joe, I mean, they have one of the best players in the league in Luka Doncic and even Porzingis. The problem is after that, who do they have?
Yeah, you said it. Doncic is one of the best players in the league. 28 points, 9 assists, 9 rebounds. Josh Richardson has to become big. He had 12 points all season with his average. Dorian Finney-Smith is another role player. Maxi Kleber. Porzingis is going to get his, but again, if you have Doncic go off, you got to stop Kleber and Porzingis down low. Jalen Brunson will be a name to watch out for. 13 points. Will Redick give you? JJ Redick's there. Will he give you anything? But he's out, so I don't know if he'll be back.
No,
Tim Hardaway Jr. has 17 points, during the season. He's another one you could watch for and wouldn't even mind seeing him start in a matchup problem for another team. Maybe you see him start. They're good. I just don't know if the Clippers aren't better, and I feel like I would take LA over Dallas.
Yeah, give me the Clipper. I mean, I really like Doncic. I like Porzingis, and I like the potential matchup problem he could cause against the Clippers big men. Because I mean, Ibaka's a great center, but he's not very mobile.
He's not
neither
agile.
is Cousins.
Right.
So he may give them problems, but I don't like the rest of the team in comparison to the rest of the Clippers. Hardaway can shoot. Brunson can shoot the mid range and drive, but I don't quite like them as much. So give me the Clippers in that series. That'll finish it off, Joe. We'll run through the play-in games in the West here, and we'll make our picks.
Garrett,
the seven. What's that?
I think we forgot Golden State and Memphis.
Yeah, no, that's where I'm running through. The seven through 10 here, the play-in matchups. Okay. Lakers are going to play the number 8 seed Golden State Warriors and the 9 seed Memphis Grizzlies against the 10 seed San Antonio Spurs. Start off with the Lakers, defending champions, 42 and 30, 21 and 15 at home, 21 and 15 on the road. Head coach Frank Vogel. Here's the stat, Joe. Only one number 7 seed has made the finals since 1984.
Wow.
Are they technically a number 7 seed? No, probably not. A lot of games missed for Anthony Davis, a lot missed for LeBron James. Can they come back together and make a run in this West?
Well, they're going to need everybody to do it. Schroeder, 15.6 assists. Caldwell Pope, 10 points, 3 rebounds. LeBron James, 25 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds. Anthony Davis, Andre Drummond are going to have to be big for them because combined they've had 34 points and 18 rebounds combined, so that's huge. Alex Caruso, Wesley Matthews, Kyle Kuzma, Markieff Morris. Bench guys, the only guy I like there is Kuzma, very athletic forward. Derek, they have to go through LeBron. Even if he doesn't score 30, you got to go through him. He's going to take more pressure away from the other guys. And I think the Lakers could spell some trouble, but I don't think they're going to get to the final.
In this matchup against the Warriors, I truly think the Warriors are going to have some trouble guarding them. I don't know who they're putting on LeBron. I would imagine maybe Andrew Wiggins
I would say he's
but
athletic.
and who's
Yeah.
gotten better defensively, but I don't know what he's going to do against LeBron. They're not healthy. They're not 100% healthy.
Right. It's a problem.
So that could be the thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Can Oubre play
LeBron,
defense?
Oubre is also hurt. I was gonna get to him in a little bit. He's probably out for about 2 more weeks.
I read your mind, Derek.
So LeBron and Davis have played 27 games together this year. They're 19-8, so they've been good.
Yeah.
But I like Schroeder. But I think Steph Curry is going to dominate in this game. I think he could put up 50. The issue for them is I don't know who else is going to score is the problem.
Need Wiggins.
But I don't think I agree. I don't think LeBron and Davis, I don't think they're healthy enough to go through this gauntlet of a Western Conference. Could they beat the Suns? Maybe. I guess it depends on who they even play against the Jazz either. But let's talk quickly about the Warriors. They'll have a 35% capacity. They're 39-33, 25-11 at home, 14-22 on the road. Head coach Steve Kerr. This is Kerr's 7th season. Every time he's made the playoffs, Joe, besides last year, they made the finals. So this could be breaking it a little bit. They're going to make the playoffs, but they're not favored to make the finals, that's for sure. Number 12 in terms of offense, 19 in terms of defense, 3 points per game, 14.5, which is third in the league. Wiseman is out. He left. The rookie left. I'm not sure 100% what he was out with. I forget. But Oubre is starting work on the court. But he's still a couple weeks out. Maybe 7 to 10 days. Actually, they might have said.
They're missing Clay too.
They don't have yeah. Well, yeah,
that's the big
for the whole season. But
yeah, right.
They don't really have the depth, Joe. Steph Curry, 32 a game. Yeah. They have Wiggins. Oubre being out doesn't help, but they don't have a lot of depth there. Draymond, obviously, there. What are your thoughts on the Warriors?
Well, they go as Steph Curry goes. So, and if you said he could score 50, that's huge. Like you said, though, who's going to be the supporting cast around him, right? I mean, Draymond Green's only good inside. He can't really shoot. Can Kent Bazemore, Damian Lee, and Jordan Poole score points? I mean, they're under 10 except for Poole has 12. Kevin Looney only has 4. That's not something I want to bet on. If I was betting on this series, I would say that, or game, I would say that no, I would not take Golden State. It would, but again, man, Curry and LeBron, what TV that's going to be? That's going to be on TV. Curry and LeBron.
Yeah. And I think Draymond has had a great season. He's kind of reinvented himself. He has the most assists on the team, 8.9. 7 rebounds, 7 points a game, and 8.9 assists. So
that's for a big guy too.
I think they're the two, and this will be no spoiler for what I have here. I think they're the two best teams in the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love the Warriors. Maybe if Oubre was healthy, that would give him another scoring
whole
option.
Different story then. Yeah.
But without him, I think they're the 8. I think the Lakers win. They get the 7 seed, take on the Suns. And then I think the Warriors win their home game. I look for Steph Curry to go off against the Lakers, though, and to keep it close. But
big stage.
Who are the Warriors going to play? Do you also have the Lakers, you said?
Yeah, I take LA over them.
Who do we have playing them? Would either be, I'm just going to run through both teams here. Memphis Grizzlies, number 9, or San Antonio Spurs. Grizzlies are 38-34, 18-18 at home, 20-16 on the road. Spurs are 33-39, 14-22 at home, 19-17 on the road. Head coach for the Grizzlies, Taylor Jenkins. Head coach for the Spurs, Greg Popovich. Just a couple stats, Joe. For the Grizzlies, this is their best finish since 2012 and 2013 when they made the conference finals. And then as far as the Spurs, this is their lowest win percentage in a season since 1996 and 97. 96, 97, they then got Tim Duncan and drafted Tim Duncan and did
Right.
not have a bad season
No.
after that. What do we think about this matchup here with the Grizzlies and Spurs? And do we think any of them poses a potential threat to, that would only be the Jazz, would be the only chance they have.
No way. Both these teams are just average. Morant's really exciting to watch, but 19.7 assists. Dylan Brooks, a great shooter. I think you need Jaren Jackson to have more points. He only had 14 on there during the year. He would have to get more. I know Grayson Allen's out. He only had 10 though. Brandon Clark would be a name to watch out for, 10.6 rebounds. But that's the Grizzlies. They're not that good. They're average. The Spurs really aren't much better.
They're worse.
Yeah, exactly. The Jazz are going to win their first series and possibly more. I don't see these two teams flirting with that. It's just
So the Spurs. I mean, the one thing I have the Spurs going for them is they do rank second in turnover differential. So they don't turn the ball over and they get turnovers. So that's good for them. But I mean, they're 33 and 39 for a reason, Joe. They're not very good.
They're not good. Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan has been a very good player for a long time now, 21.6. I like DeJounte Murray, 15.7 a game, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. I like his game. Derek White is out, so that doesn't help. LaMarcus Aldridge was released and then retired, so that's no good.
It doesn't help.
Rudy Gay is way past his prime. I like Lonnie Walker. Shout out Lonnie Walker, Reading High School.
Good to Florida State.
But Miami.
Oh,
Miami, Florida. I just don't like that team. They're just not remotely close. I think the Grizzlies beat them by default because
too much Morant, maybe too much Brooks.
Yeah, I like what they have set up. I like Morant. Valanciunas is actually a pretty good center underneath. Jaren Jackson, a good young piece. They have some pieces there. They're just not on the level of the rest of the West. I have them, Memphis then playing the Warriors for the 8th seed, but I think the best player will win out there, and I think that'll be Steph Curry and the Warriors, who will go to the Jazz and most likely lose to the Jazz Wow, Joe, I don't know what our time is, but I know it's pretty long. I apologize. Yeah, if anyone made it this far, we thank you very much for watching. That is our NBA playoff preview. At some point, we'll probably wrap up the rounds. We're not 100% sure when we'll go about doing that. But Joe, do you want to just wrap us up real quick for the NBA preview?
Final thoughts. On this sunny Monday afternoon, I will say that it's going to be good to I'll have to tune into some of these games, at least pay attention to scores, just try to get a handle of what could be going forward. We have some interesting matchups. I just think you might see a lot of chalk early, and then it's going to be interesting to see injuries. We said about the Sixers. You have a really interesting team with Brooklyn and how many superstars they have. And then out west, can Steph Curry power a team without Klay Thompson? There's a lot of really interesting storylines, and then it's going to turn into the ability on the court, and that's going to be – and no bubble. How about we talk about that for a minute? No bubble this year. So, wow, they're going to all go to their home floors and away and, traveling, and thank God COVID has ramped down and not the other way. Let's throw it up, as they say, and tomorrow night will be the start of it. So as much as we love baseball, it'll be good to watch some basketball.
Yeah.
As much as the NBA game drives me crazy, Derek, I will say, drives me crazy because it's a little slow sometimes. But then again, some of these teams will play fast paced. It just depends on the styles. But tune in,
Well,
fellow audience.
I won't ask Joe to throw them out there. I'm sure he did in some capacity, but I'll throw out my picks here. I'll give me the Jazz beating the Warriors. Give me I gotta go Lakers. I'm
Go
sorry,
Lakers.
Joe. I gotta go Lakers
Go
over
Lakers.
the Suns.
Yeah, well, it's a good pick.
Give me the Blazers over the Nuggets. Give me the Clippers over the Mavericks going into the East. Give me the Sixers over whoever the 8 seed is. Give me the Nets over whoever the 7 seed is. Doesn't matter. I like the Bucks over the Heat. I don't know about that one. I know the Knicks are 3-0 over the Hawks. But I like the Hawks, Joe.
It's the Knicks.
I like the Hawks.
It's the Knicks.
It is the Knicks. So I don't think they're there yet. So yeah, give me the Hawks.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll write them down physically in our actual video here. So look in the description and you can see our picks for the first round. But sorry for the long video, but I hope everyone enjoyed. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube and subscribe on YouTube. Click that button, help us out a little bit, and like the video as well. All podcast platforms we're out on. Don't forget to listen if you just like to listen to us, and follow us on Twitter and our Facebook group. Timeout with Derek and Joe at gmail.com is our email. Thank you as always, everyone, for taking time out of your day to spend some time with us. Stay safe. Take care.